In our tutorial today, this is what I'm going to show you how to create a brochure. How you can create this to this. Now this is basically what you can create. After creating this, then you can either export it, print it, publish to PDF, or you print it on your PC so that you have it physically. So I have made it in a way that whether you are new or this is the first time of using CorelDRAW, you can be able to do it. Let's dive in. Okay, now the first thing we need to do is to open our CorelDRAW and create a new document by clicking this document. Now for the sake of this tutorial, I'm using Corel X7. Now if you're using a lower version, normally when you're creating a document, this thing will not pop up, especially if you're using X13, X12. But from X14 and above, you should be able to see this. Now you can name the title of your page here. Let me just name it, or let me just leave it. You can preset a destination, that is where you're going to save your document. I prefer leaving it at default. Then the paper size, you'll see the width and the height, the number of pages, the primary colors you're going to use, and the rendering resolution. Now if you're going to print it, 300 dpi is your highest, is the best shot for you. But if you intend to post it online, you can use 72 dpi dot per point per inch, sorry. Then if you are okay with this, you can click OK. Let's wait for it to open. Alright, now if you can see here, it is telling me this is my paper size A4, which is the size we are going to be using. And we are under portrait, but because we are creating a brochure, we needed to make it to be in landscape. So to make it to be landscape, you come here and click on landscape. Okay, so this is our work area. Now for the sake of this tutorial, we are creating a brochure for a real estate home, real estate business. Now as earlier mentioned, I'm going to make it as simple as it is. Whether you are new to it, you have never done anything on CorelDRAW, you should be able to do this. I'm not going to use long process to show you this. Now the first thing you need to do is this. You come to the left and pick on this tool, the rectangle tool. You just draw your first box. We need 3 of this. Now you click on the pick tool, you right hand click on your mouse and you drag this box to the left, to the right, sorry, to the right. Then you remove your hand, you will see copy here. You now copy. Now you can use the same procedure by clicking on the right hand, by clicking on the right and hold, then you push your mouse, or better still, since you have done this, you can do Ctrl D, duplicate it for you. Now let's highlight everything here. Let's come here and group it. Now the reason why I'm grouping it, I want to centralize it into our work area to ensure that it is within our work area. Then you, after centralizing it, grouping it, you click on P to put it at the center. Now let's assume it is not, it is ungroup. Let me ungroup it. This is where you ungroup. After ungrouping, I now decide to highlight everything. I now decide to click on P. You'll see, you can see they are all in one place. That is the essence why you need to group it. Now click on Ctrl Z to undo, then I'll click on group. Now I'll do my necessary adjustment to ensure that this my brochure is within the size I have chosen, which is A4 size. Now let me zoom so that I will see it better. Let me zoom. Oops. Alright. Now this is the edge of our work area. So what I will do, I'll put my mouse here, then I'll hold and I'll shift up. Then I'll zoom back to see. Let me zoom to see. Now I'll reduce this a bit. Then I'll click on P again. Now I am very okay with this, which is within the A4 size I have chosen. Now because we are going to be treating each one individually, I intend to ungroup it so that I'll work individually with it. Now let me make some minor adjustments. You should be able to see. Now if you can see the space between this and this, there is a space. I intend to close it up. Now I'll click on it, then I'll shift it. I'll do the same with the one to the left. Let me zoom more to see whether okay. Now let me do it again. Alright, I think we are okay. Now always ensure that whatever changes you have made, you have saved it. Now in opening it, I have not saved it, so let me just try and save it here. If you cannot save it from when creating a document, you can do the same here. I prefer using this method. Let me save it to say home brochure, and I'll now save it. Now you can see I have saved it. Anytime I make a change, you'll see the save button pop up in blue color. Now let me group again so that I will centralize my work on P. Now because the brochure is front and back document, I intend to create another page by clicking this plus sign. Then I'll copy this, Ctrl C, then I'll go to the second page, paste it. Now we'll come to this. Now this is very important. This is going to be my front page of the brochure. Now in designing it, you begin from the left. The page that you intend to make it your first page will start here. This is going to be your first page. Now if you go to the second page, if after turning your brochure, the first page that will show appear after turning it will begin from here. So in the second page, we'll begin our design from this place. Don't worry, you will understand what I mean at the end of the tutorial. Now let's start. Now because I'm going to design a brochure, I'm going to show you how to design a brochure for a home. I intend to use an image. Now I have downloaded an image. is it? Alright, I intend to use this image for it. Now I'll click and hold, then I'll drag it into my Corel Draw. This is the image I'm going to be using for this tutorial. Now let me reduce it a bit. In reducing, you don't reduce from this side. If you are going to do it, you see it becomes something else. Now to reduce your size, you have to come here and reduce it so that it doesn't affect your size. Let me reduce it. Now let's go on with our design. Now first thing first, let me begin with the front page, then I will go in. Now I'll click on the picture. Let me drag this picture. I'll click on the picture so that it appears in front, because we are doing something that has to do with comfortability, your home. So let me drag this picture, click on it, and I'll come to object, power clip. Under power clip, I will now click on place inside frame. This arrow comes up, then I'll come to this first page and I'll click it. Now the reason why you are seeing it this way, it is because the image is in group. So I'll have to ungroup it to get what I want. So I have to Control Z, click on it, ungroup it, because we intend to finish this, come to this one and this one. Now I'll click again. After ungrouping, now go to object, power clip, place inside frame, then I'll place it. Can you see the difference? It does not appear in any of this. Then you press Ctrl and hold, then you click twice. It opens the image inside your frame. Then you can resize again. You can resize again. Let me take it to the top a bit. Alright. Now, this is the image I'm going to use. So next, let me create a color for the background. I intend to use green, and I will add some yellow by clicking to make it to be let me do this and see. Let me change now. I think let me increase the yellow a bit. Oh, I think I'm okay with this. And this is our color. And let me go in again and pick my rectangle tool. Now and then I will click on the shape tool. Then I'll right hand click and convert to curves. So what I intend to do, I'll take this like this. Then I will change this to, I'll pick this and include it as part of my design here. The idea is for you to be able to make it to be attractive. So I'll just make it to be a bit black, a bit dark. Let's see how it looks. Now let's work on our picture. To increase the quality, we come to bitmap, click on image adjustment, increase the brightness a bit, increase the brightness. Alright, click on OK. Now ensure that any changes you make, click on save. Okay. Now the next thing I will do is for me to be able to create something that is attractive here. Now I intend to use, if you can say, I use a lot of image rectangle so that you can be able to do it. And I'll pick this to this place, ensure that it is big enough. Then I'll click on this tool again, this shape tool. Then I'll carry my mouse, click on, and I'll right hand click, convert to curves. Then I'll click at the middle. By clicking at the middle, then I'll click on this convert to curves. So after clicking on it, you can be able to drag it this way. Then I'll click on the white button. I hope you are getting what I'm doing. Then it has changed everything to white, make it to be curved. Then let me go in again and drag it down a bit. I hope we're making headway. Now again, I'm going to use rectangle again. I'll pick rectangle again. Or better still, pick the rectangle again, bring it here, open it a bit. Then I will also click on the shape tool again, bring my mouse here, right hand click, then click on convert to curves, click on it again, then click on convert. Then I'll drag this a bit. Yes. Then push it to the top a bit. Then I'll make it to be black. I want it to be solid black. Then I'll pick on this eclipse tool. Pick on it. I will need 3 of it. 1, 2, 3. Now each one will have a color. Let me use this tool. This is the color eyedropper tool. I'll click on it. I want to pick this color so that this one will have it. And I'll put it here, and this, or let me use this one. So I'll leave this to be white. Then I'll ensure, if you can see, you pull it up, there is a background for it. So if I want to remove the background, I'll come here. This is what is called, you'll see this brush, or here you can drop inside none. So I want to remove the heart line. by putting none. You see, you don't have outline. Or if you just still cannot use this method, you can pick the eyedrop again, dropper 2, pick the color, then come. When you see it in this box like this, you can click it so that the background will pick the color. So any method you use is still okay. Now let me add some white to this so that it will be a bit lighter. Alright, so let's zoom our design. Now let's pick this. Let's include this one here. Let's pick our white. Now we'll click on white background, and I will include this here. Now because I want to reduce the size a bit, let me reduce the size and reduce this one a bit. Reduce this one. Then I'll highlight everything, then move it to ensure that it is in the center. Then let me include a text, say by clicking on the text tool here. Let me write comfortable home. Then let me pick this tool. Now because I want to treat this text individually, I'll click on Control key so that I can be able to pick this one on its own. But let's assume they are the way I tapped it, I cannot be able to do that. Anything, they move together. So I'll have to click on Control key, then come to the font area here, then I'll choose impact. Or better still, let me look for another font key. Let me look for another font. Okay, let me use this. Sorry, I have to change. This is comfort. Or let me say awesome home. Let me use that. Let me pick my text. Here, change my color to white. Then I'll use impact fonts for the home. On it a bit. Then again, I will use this tool to pick my color here. As you can see, there is a difference. If you intend not to place the eyedropper the way I showed you using this, if it has a background, you can see it takes the outline. But if you want to include it so that you affect only the inside without the outline, you will see the box without any outline too. When you click on it, it picks. And the reason why I'm using this outline is for me to have a consistent color for the green all over. Then I'll save it again so that if anything happens, I know I have my design. Then I'll now pick another color again, another text tool again. Let me type something. I'll say contact, or let me say, let me write some of the things: luxury homes, or let me say luxury apartment, condos, or hotel, presidential suites, um, awesome views. Okay, let me just leave it at that. Now, this is some of the things they will see when they come. Let me say services. And let me use the, okay, let me just use the same fonts. Let's delete this. Let me use the same font. Allow services. Let me reduce it to let's say 16. This one I'll reduce it to 14. And decide to centralize it. And this one comes here. Let me zoom and decide to adjust my, let me see, click on it, then pick my tool and come to this tool and centralize it. So I can click on Ctrl key in order for me to push this down a bit so that the space will not be obvious. And I'll highlight, move it to the top maybe. Now I can use this, pick it, undo, and zoom a bit so that they can be able to see well. Oops, comment. Okay, comment. Let me make it to be bold so that they can click on. And let me change this to be impact. Let me save. I think we are making headway. So this is the front page. Now we are done with this. Let's move to this place. And the first thing I'll do is I'll pick my tool. This is way straightforward. Just click on it to take the entire color. So what I will do is I'll just type a text and I'll say live, say better living. Home, home, away from home. Let me just make it this way. Let me save. So what I need to do is for me to be able to centralize this. So let me play around with the fonts. I'll now click on Ctrl K to change the font style. Let me take it. This time I'm going to be using I'm going to use script. Increase it a bit. Then oops, Ctrl Z. Then I'll highlight, increase. Okay. I intend to maintain the same font size for this. So what I will do is I will click to choose let me choose this font size, and I will choose again for this. Then I'll highlight to increase the size a bit. So let me change this to white. I'll just now save. Now we can decide to leave it this way, or better still, here we can include, let me say, let's include the address. Now in order for us to maintain everything together, I can copy this. I can right hand click and hold, then I'll drag it to this place and copy here. Then let's make it to be white so that we'll be able to see this color under the screen. Use black, and I'll change it to address. So you can change this to your preferred address and then save it. Let's zoom a bit. As you can see, our brochure is taking shape gradually. Now the last part here, I'm going to pick this 3, highlight, copy to this, copy here, and I'll drag it a bit. Now if you can see, you cannot see the third one because it is white. Now I will now change the color a bit by making it look like this, so that we'll be able to see. So I'll increase a bit. Now I intend to do something. Then to pick an eclipse tool, pick this color, put it, then I'll use this and put it inside our frame. Then I'll press Ctrl hold, then I'll click twice. Oops, sorry. Then I'll put it here. Now there is a tool. This is a transparency tool. Now I'll click on the tool and this pops up. So I will now see, I'll just leave it at that to see. Or let me just increase it. Click on transparency to increase it a bit. I'll remove my outline. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Then let me write a text. I'll put about us. I'll change it to impact, increase it. Now I intend to change one of the color, but I don't want to use the control key I showed you in separating it. So what I will do is I'll click on the text, then I'll highlight us, the color I intend to change, then I'll click on the color to give us this. And next is for me to be able to put the text here. Now there are several ways you can do it, but the easiest way is for you to be able to click on the text tool, then you click and hold, you drag this text box. Now I have a dummy text. This is dummy text. Then I'll copy. Let me copy to this. Then I'll go back to my Corel Draw. I'll click on it again inside it. So then I'll now click on paste. Maintain fonts and formatting. I'll say yes. Then click on OK. And this is my dummy text. Let me zoom. I have to click on this to work on it. The text tool. Then I'll click on A. I can increase the fonts to 12. Let me leave it at, okay, let me leave it at 11. Then you work on it so that people will be able to read. You save. Now this is basically our front page. Now for us to be able to remove this background, you now click on the tool, on the box, come here and say none. Click on this one, come here and say none. Click on this one, come here and say none. Now we are done with this. Then we can highlight again and group our design so that nothing happens with, even if you click on P, nothing happens with it. Now this is the back page. This will be the first page of the brochure. Now in the second part, I'm going to show you how you can continue by designing. This is where most of the time your text goes in. Now let me use something. Let me use this text. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to use this to ease the procedure for us in creating the second page. Let me save. Now if you can see, everything is here. So what I intend to do is, I don't intend to use this, I'll delete it all. So this is going to be my guide. Now I will now pick this rectangle tool, come here and I'll draw these two. So the essence of doing this is because I don't want to use this. I don't want to create this pitch individually the way I've created the first pitch. So I intend to do everything combined. That is why I'm using this method. Now let me just pick the color. This is the color, and I'll click on it. It gives me all the color. Now the next thing I will do is I'm going to pick the eclipse tool, and to make it this way, make it to be white. Then now click on object, power clip, and ensure that it is inside the container. Now click copy. Now let me make it black so that I'll be able to see what I'm doing. And then once I'm okay, then I'll make it white so that it appears like this. Then I'll pick another one again. Put it like this. And make it black. And I'll remove the background. Then I'll put it inside. Then I'll make it white. I hope you're getting what I'm doing. Then this is where I will begin to put my text. Pick my text tool, draw the line, and I'll use my dummy text, copy all this time around, copy, and I'll click inside. Now then I'll click on and increase the size of the dummy text. Now if you can see, it has turned to red. Whatever, like that to tell you that there are more text in it. So if I drag it, you will see some of the text. So what you need to do is to drag it a bit. Now once you are not seeing it right, it means that the text has fit in. So you can repeat the same process by putting the text here. Now let me make the text to be a bit bold. Control A, sure that it's black. So this is basically, you can include images or anything that you intend to change. Okay, before we go, let me just quickly add some flair to our first pitch. Now let me pick a tool here, draw it, let me zoom it so that I can see very well. Let me just take it here, pick the color, then I'll click inside the container, then I'll come to this place too. Let me just go in, pick. The reason why I'm using shapes is because you can also use it and create your own as easy as that. I'm going to remove the background, just trying to add some flair to our design so that it will look more attractive. Let me copy this too. Now change it to black. Now I'm going to use this to click on it to convert. Then I'm going to use this to turn it. Then drop this a bit. I'll copy all to this side. I'm going to group it, then I'll turn it. Let me just adjust it. Okay, let me ungroup. Then I'll take this up. Okay, this is basically our design. Now, feel free to comment, like our page and follow us. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe.